What's up? I've never done this. What's up? I ain't never been live on Instagram. Let's try it out. Let's talk about the Great Reset. So this is, look at those little sparkles. That's bitching, baby. What's up, Young Jays? Shout out. What's poppin'? We're going to talk about the Great Reset. I am live. Look at that skin. Look at that sparkle. Show some love. There we go, baby. Yeah, so we had a great weekend. We went down there, got to hang out with Alex, spent the week. It wasn't a weekend, it was during the week. Met Nick, met a bunch of other people, Ali, and we had a lot of fun. But it was also pretty serious because I think a lot of people are not understanding what's happening. Like the Great Reset is a long time plan. I mean, if you follow my work, you've seen me talking about it. But what is the Great Reset? I mean, this is a lot of people think, oh, this is communism. This is international capitalism. It's all of those things, right? So basically, the elite groups like the World Economic Forum, the Global Reset crew, Klaus Schwab. I just had my coffee, by the way. I'm not totally awake yet. Klaus Schwab and others, what they want to do is bring in a planetary, technocratic, tracked and traced control grid. This will include every area of your life. This will require you to completely submit to travel. This will require you to no longer think and live in the way that we have lived in the past. So the old world, the way things have been, is going away. And for things to go away, it has to be replaced by a completely new system. And to do that, what they tend to do is try to collapse the existing system and show that the existing system itself is a problem. Now, the elite will cause the problems. They'll cause those problems, and then they'll blame the public, they'll blame everybody for what they initiate and what they cause. And then they'll say, but you see, we have the solution. We'll bring the solution to these problems by making you submit to this entirely technocratic controlled life. Basically your whole life, right, is going to be under the control of this system. And so it has multiple areas that they want to hit, that they want to change. They want to change education. That's the first thing that Klaus talks about in his book. Education, he says, has to be reoriented to a new covenant. And this new covenant is about a new eco-ethic. So instead of being, under God or something like this, 10 Commandments, now you have eco-sins. That's the future religion. That's what they want to inculcate now. The other thing he talks about is brainwashing the youth, especially the younger generations, into that new covenant ethic. And then he says also change their ideas of what business is. I don't know how to save the live. Somebody tell me in the chat how to save it so you can share it afterwards. But yeah, I will try to do that. But then what they want to do is integrate all areas of life into the tracking and tracing through the basically Skynet system, right? So if you've seen Terminator, that kind of stuff, then you know that what they want to do is have basically an AI system running everything, and that's going to take many years to put in place, right? So when that's in place, in the meantime, they want to have that infrastructure put in, right? So they want to use the next 10 years, 20 years to keep putting in the infrastructure to have the global technocratic system in place. And this is all public. That's what I think a lot of people still don't understand. I mean, I've been reading these guys for almost 20 years, the elite, and specifically focusing on the writings of the elite, their writings the last 100 years, in the last couple of years on my website. So in that time, They've talked about smart cities. You know, I was writing essays about smart cities 10 years ago and what they plan to do with the smart cities to make that basically a kind of a utopian prison, right? So you think that you're going to live in this Star Trek type situation, but it's really a utopian prison. And it's a prison because every aspect of your thought processes, your life, everything is tracked and traced and controlled. It's like, you know, if you saw the new Blade Runner 2049, they had the Ryan Gosling character came home to his AI sim girlfriend, and he just lives in this tiny little box coffin apartment. And he spends basically all of his time eating alone and hanging out with his sim bitch. And that's pretty much what what we're looking at here. I mean, when I go to big cities and I see the condos going up everywhere and how that's going to be integrated into like a smart condo complex. I mean, these are going up everywhere, especially in Nashville. I mean, on the one hand, it's like, yeah, okay, there's economic growth. That's so cool. But it's not actually it's not about like economic progress. This is all going to be integrated into a system. And now you're actually hearing the mainstream media talk about the stuff that we've been talking about. Why are they, at the same time, by the way, as denying that there's anything like the Great Reset, right? So they say it doesn't exist, even as they come out publicly and talk about it. So what I'm trying to say is this needs to be told to everyone. Everybody needs to understand that this is not a conspiracy theory. It's not a joke. It's not like a phase. It's not some news thing that's going to, we'll be talking about this for a week and then, we'll forget about this in the news cycle next week. No, this is the most wealthy people on the planet with a coordinated plan that's coordinated over at least a century and probably older than that. But in the book series that we've done, we focused on the last 100 years. Just because that's when they really started writing these books openly, saying and declaring what they would do, right? So you've got H.G. Wells, who's got multiple books. You've got Bertrand Russell's got multiple books on this. You've got Aldous Huxley, Brave New World, and his writings. You've got Charles Galton Darwin, all in the same crew of people. And then you've got many more elites in the modern era, right? Jacques Attali, you've got Miles Copeland, you've got Kissinger, you've got Brzezinski, you've got David Rockefeller, you've got Noah Harari. You've got all of these characters who are writing books about creating this global AI matrix. Now, remember when we did, by the way, Robert Anton Wilson, you could include him in this crew as well. Now, remember when we did the Jacques Attali book, how did he end the book? Now, he wrote way before Klaus did, right? So Klaus wrote his book, 2 years ago, 2018? And Brief History of the Future by Attali was written in 2006. And he ends the 2006 book by saying that the vanguard of the elite is the Transhumanist Movement. He says that's the tip of the spear. The tip of the metal penile spear of the New World Order is the Transhumanist Movement. And what they plan to do is to integrate everybody into the system. And what's funny is that Jacques Attali calls it the global brain. And he says it's going to be a golem. He says we're going to create a golem, right? My precious. Not that kind of golem. Although maybe Gollum does represent a golem. I don't know, but it's just amazing if you read Attali's book. Like he really lays it out. I mean, he says more in many ways than even Klaus said, because Klaus still couches it in a lot of these glowing terms. But Attali just basically says everybody's going to be linked into a global brain hive. And it's going to be like the Borg. Like you'll be like a Borg. You won't have your own individual thought processes and whatnot. And so what did the news just say today, right? You're going to have to stabby to fly. Now, I have said this for a long time. I said it months ago, and people said I was a complete lunatic. I was a crazed conspiracy theorist. People unfollowed me, blocked me, sent me nasty, mean messages that hurt my feelings and made me cry for a long time. And here we are, and the mainstream media today says the very thing that I told you. I mean, I'm freaking sitting here sparkling, bro. If I'm freaking sparkling, you know I'm telling you the truth. I mean, I'm either Robert Pattinson in Twilight, or I'm telling you the truth. I mean, I'm freaking sparkling, dude. So obviously I'm telling the truth. Yes, thank you. Miles cried with me. Miles Copeland, that is, cried with me. Very woke indeed. Do you see any similarities between The Hive and Brave New World? Absolutely. It's not a fiction book. It's not an expose. It's a plan. And he says that in the beginning of the book. In the introductory essay, he says this is the final revolution. The final revolution is the same thing as the Great Reset. And that's why Klaus says you're going to be merged into a computer hive. I would not recommend you. I mean, I can't tell you what to do in terms of your medical decisions, but I mean, if you want to do that, you're crazy, right? If you just trust random people, I mean, you got to make up your own mind, do your own research. But so the other thing too is Klaus talks about microchips. Klaus says that you're going to have the chip in your head or in your body, and that will be how you get around. That'll be how you do anything. Have economic access to have go to school, travel. It'll all be required. Now, I mean, do I know if this is the end of the world? I don't know. I'm not going to make that claim. I mean, I think if it is, we will know, right? I mean, it'll be more and more evident over time. We won't be unclear if it's the end of the world. It'll be obvious given the many signs that the fathers and Scripture and the saints talk about. But so I wouldn't worry about that. But what I would be concerned with is that this is all real. And a lot of people are having a hard time processing this. Now, I processed this stuff 20 years ago. I got woke to this stuff in 2001, 98, 99, 2000, 2001. That's around that's when I first started reading conspiracy material. And so my mind has gone through that process of like initially being upset, being worried, and then kind of being black pilled, and then you kind of come out the other side. So then it's not, you're not that concerned with it. You've processed it, right? But there's a lot of people right now that are like at stage 1 and they're processing it and they're having a hard time with it. But don't get down, don't get depressed. God's in control, right? We believe in divine providence. Don't think that there's nothing we can do. It's not true. And I was about to mention this monoliths, right? So people keep asking about this monolith thing. I saw it in my feed today. Now, isn't it funny that these Galileans always show up, supposedly, and why, wouldn't you know it, they have the same metals found on Earth. So there's a giant, aluminum monolith in the desert. That's not aliens, dummy. That's not aliens. However, it's very likely that it is some kind of PSYOP. And remember that Klaus, in that World Economic Forum video that we covered in the 4th hour of Alex the other day, that one of the points, point 5 or 6 in that 8-point plan, talked about how there's likely evidence. It's likely the case that we'll discover or talk to aliens in the next 10 years. So I kind of think, yeah, there's a good chance that they'll try to push the alien mythology BS. And the Galileans are going to come. They want to do butt stuff. They want to probe. That's all they do. Knock on granite that they don't come probe me. But yeah, I mean, where's the discussion? It's on my website, dude. It's at band.video. So Klaus talks about aliens, these dumb movies. Every stupid movie is aliens for the last how many years? All the way back to the 50s. The origins of the whole alien nonsense and mythos is all PSYOPs. It's all MJ-12, deep state baloney. And it's really just to replace the Western and Christendom ethos, biblical ethos of how to understand the grand narrative of man's beginnings and man's future. And so if you interject this new panspermia mythos, which fits perfectly with Darwinism, Great Reset, etc., it's very likely that they could push this bogus alien mythos narrative. And I mean, I know they've been pushing alien crap for forever, but it really seems like it's reinvigorated and re-ramped up in the last year or two with Tom DeDong or whatever his name is from Blinking 182 Times or whatever else gay bands are out there that are always talking about Galians. I mean, it's just not accidental that they're really ramping this up consistently. They're always talking about UFOs in every movie, every science fiction show. It's aliens, aliens, aliens. And again, there's the Brookings Report Institute paper from the 60s. It's in the Brenda Densler book that I cited in my book. And what it says is that the main usage of an alien mythos is to destroy the biblical conception. That's what it says. I think it's a 1968 Brookings NASA paper. And that's what that paper says. It says that we can leverage a lot of worldview warfare power through an alien mythos. And it would replace the narrative that most people had of, creation, being made in the image of God, Genesis, incarnation, and resurrection, and then the end of the world, right? So you have that narrative from the Bible, from Christ, from church history. That would be replaced with this, exactly, that's what I'm talking about. So CNN was pushing this monolith story. I mean, dude, come on. It looks like a freaking just junk of damn metal from a scrap heap, right? And I mean, they could just put that out there. By the way, if you read Secret Society Psychological Warfare, he talks about mysterious monoliths that were just sort of placed overnight in different places. I think one was placed in New York, a 2001 monolith, right? So this is probably just an engineered bunch of BS. I mean, most of these stories, the news lies all the time. It's probably fake. It's probably just put there by, I don't know, weird Mormons or something. Who knows? But my guess is that they're going to keep ramping up the alien nonsense. And it's not accidental that in that World Economic Forum video, they talked about the likelihood of discovering aliens in the next 10 years, right? Emails to aliens. ET is going to email you back. What's up? Shout out to Heather. What's up, everybody? Be sure and follow Heather over at her Mercado Sagrado. And Heather sat me over there by old Terrence McKenna's woman. And I had no idea the whole time. And I could have gone over there and I could have smooth talked that grandma with my Terrence McKenna.
Hey, baby, it's been a long time since we've been intimate. Would you like to come and experience my mushroom again from beyond the grave?
That one goes out to Heather. By the way, Heather, I guess there's no more Mercado Sagrados. It's the Carufa virus, the Carunca, have shut down everything. Where am I from? South Africa, bitch. Nigeria, that's where I'm from. Although my soul resides in the Congo. You were hoping for it to be shut down, or you were hoping for more? I'm confused. Anyway. So that's the thing. Is there any other thing about Great Reset I wanted to include? So it's total economic integration. It's total surveillance and governmental integration into the World Federation. Smart cities, coffin apartments. Food, right? So if you've heard my boy Tristan, Lil AIDS, he talks about, you don't get no meat no more, right? So no more meat. What's up, Pure World Truth? Shout out to my Nigerians in soul and spirit and in body. You don't get meat. You're going to eat vegan crap burgers that Bill Gates has money in, literal shit burgers. And that was included in that video, right? So that's it. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. You remember the essay? I wrote an article 10 plus years ago about the smart cities because Ginny Rometty, the CEO at that time of IBM, she was going around to all the cities that would be future smart cities. And she was talking about what it's going to be like. And she said, it's going to be so great because you can walk from the McDonald's over to the Walgreens and the cameras and the computers will already know that you got the gout when you walk from McDonald's over to the Walgreens, and the Walgreens will already know you got the gout and the STDs and the syphilis. And so they'll already have the medicine ready for you that you got from probably McDonald's. And won't it be great because the AI central computer knows all of your nasty secrets. They know that you fool around with your filthies and that you got all the STDs, and Walgreens will already have it ready for you. That's what she said. She's like, they'll know all your medical history. That's what I'm talking about, right? So they know your medical records, and they'll have your STD meds ready for you, baby. Hop on in and get those bunion pills and those pee-pee pills and those, I don't know, what do you take for STDs? Vitamin C? I don't know. What are you get your Carunca pills, the Kufalus? Exactly. There we go. So there you go. That's what's coming. That's what's happening right now, y'all. So antibiotics, yeah, people are being serious. Like I was legitimately asking what? Penicillin? That's what you take, penicillin. All right, so this was my first, that was just a test out live stream. I think it worked pretty good. Yeah. It's never over. It's never going away. The lockdown is never over. It's never going away. Did you take your Carunca pill today? This is your Carunca pill right here. This is your Carunca pill. All right, I'll try to do more of these. This was fun. This was just a test. And you all passed. You all passed the test. Be sure and go share my shit, please. Thank you, and I love you.